All right, well, welcome everyone. This is Sonja Jones of GIP Financial, your Mr. Miyagi of Money. And today I have a very special guest with me for this particular series. Prior we've been recording content on bookkeeping and making sure that your numbers are in position, but we wanted to pivot a little bit and give you guys some access to some of our actual clients who we done work for, and you can actually hear the transformation from people who have experienced GIP financials firsthand. So I have one of my very special entrepreneurs with us today, and this is Miss Tesha Saulsberry of Tesha's Treasured Events. I hope I said that the right way. So welcome, Tesha.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I am Tesha Saulsberry, and I am the CEO of TreSure Events LLC. That name came from me wanting to have my clients experience the treasure of memories and moments from having special events. My company is an events planning and services management company for small and medium-sized events. We focus on social, milestone, community, and corporate events.
Wonderful, wonderful. And yes, and so Tisha and I met, I believe it was at the Grant and Loan Tips Events Workshop in Whitehaven at the Southbrook Mall. And so we met, it was on a Saturday, and we met for probably about an hour, a little bit over an hour, and we talked about how bookkeeping helps with accessing grants and loans. So, Tisha, did you want to talk a little bit about your experience at that class?
Absolutely. So, as Sonia mentioned, we met at the Grants and Loan Workshop. And for me, being a startup coming from corporate America, it was important for me to learn or begin to learn about the avenues that I would have as a startup organization and seeking out funding and how it could help my organization grow. So it was very interesting. I met a lot of new people, and I learned a lot about how to go about applying for additional funding.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I agree with Tisha. One of the things that, and I want to say that was actually our first GIP sponsored in person event. And I think the beauty of that was, is like Tisha said, there were entrepreneurs from all walks and stages that just voluntarily just gave and poured into one another. And that was really just a blessing. So it wasn't just, everybody listening to me. We had other entrepreneurs that also had previous employment with banks and, have multiple businesses and journeys talking about, transitioning out of one business to another business. And we also had an OG in there that talked about her connections, with some of the local state representatives and senators and stuff like that, and the importance of connections and networks. So it was really, really amazing. And so one of the products and services that we talked about after the workshop was called the Money Magnet Boot Camp. And Tisha also was able to take advantage of that workshop. So what the Money Magnet Boot Camp entailed was you could, as a business owner, if you already had QuickBooks, or if you did not have QuickBooks, we had a spreadsheet option called the DIY tracker that one of our staff accountants, Latasha Phillips, created, that helped entrepreneurs categorize their expenses and also create budgets. Plus, the spreadsheet's formula based. So not only can you categorize your expenses and your income and set up a budget, but you can also get data for your profit and loss, your balance sheet, and it also gives like a baseline cash flow statement, cash flow data, if you will. And so that included 2 1-hour classes. So Tisha and another young lady participated in that class while Latasha and I taught that. So the first hour we talked about how to import your transactions into the tracker from your banking account. So you just pull the downloads from there in CSV format, upload them to the tracker, and we walk the ladies through how to categorize your income and expenses. And then the second hour, we talked about once then, of course, in between they had homework, so they had to
Mhm.
go in and categorize and finish,
Yes.
categorize their income and expenses. And then the second hour, we talked about once they had their data in, the reporting and showing them kind of in real time what their numbers look like and how to use that data to plan out, their business and forecast, for the remainder of the year. So I think we did that around like the summer, no, spring, summer, no, summertime. It was
It
around like
was.
May-ish.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Right
So
in June, the early part of June it was. Yes.
exactly. So Tisha, kind of give us your feedback. If you remember what we talked about and how you felt beforehand and after that.
Oh, absolutely. Again, being a startup beforehand, I had no clue about anything as it related to my numbers and how I needed to be managing them and tracking them. So that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to participate in the boot camp. And as Sonia stated, as we were going through the importance of knowing your numbers, as well as going through the intricate usage of the DIY tracker, it became totally clear to me that whether you're a startup or whether you're an OG in your business, knowing your numbers and maintaining and keeping up with them is key. It's key to sustainability of your business. And being a startup, one of the things that I learned, it's very important to be able to keep the numbers separate. Keep the transactions, your personal transactions and your business transactions separate. As she mentioned, we had homework. One of the things, a part of our homework was to input our data into the tracker. So again, for my business, I started it, just from my savings account. So everything was personal, and having to go back through my personal account and try to dissect what was a personal transaction versus what was a business transaction was a bit of a challenge, but it was doable, and I was able to input everything in the tracker and then see what my expenses were, and to Sonia's point, how to be able to forecast and begin to set goals for the growth of the business.
Absolutely. So again, you guys, you hear me talk about that all the time about commingling personal funds and business funds. So of course, as we all got to start somewhere, right?
Mhm.
So when you're starting your business, of course, there's going to be a little bit of commingling, but as you grow into your business, there got to be a time when you have to separate the two. You got to do it, right?
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
you got to separate business and personal. And so I would say, especially the earlier you can do that, the better, right? So, Tisha, so you went through the grants and loans class, you went through the money magnet boot camp. So, you are a superstar, you are rocking it out, getting your financials in position. So, what's one takeaway from either from the class or from the boot camp? What's one practice that you felt like that you implement now on a regular basis after working with GIP?
Um, I mean, we can't re-emphasize it enough. Keeping the transactions separate, being able to know specifically what was personal, what was business, even if you're having to take money from the personal account to, for whatever reason, add it to the business account to take care of things. You still need to be able to know that you've moved that money around and have receipts to prove that. Because in the end, when it's time to do tax filing, everything needs to be in order.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it sounds like to me, but I'm not going to assume. I want to hear from you, teacher, because there are a lot of entrepreneurs that are probably watching this video right now. It's like, man, it's too good to be true. You gonna tell me, Tisha, that you got in touch with an actual bookkeeper slash accountant, and they were actually able to walk you hand in hand through organizing your stuff. You were able to sit down with them face to face and they walk you through your financials. Is that what you're telling the people?
That's exactly what I'm telling them. And not only were they able to walk me through it, but they were able to make it easy where I could understand it. Because again, as a startup, there's so many things that you're trying to learn. You're trying to put your business structure together. You hear all the acronyms about EIN and LLCs and all these various things that you're trying to do. So, and on top of that, now you got to know and understand how to do your financials. So yes, definitely was worth every bit of it, and having it broken down so that I could understand it. That was the greatest part.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, answer this question for me, Tisha. So, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, and the importance of investing, right? So, one of
Hmm.
the things that I'm doing, especially with our clients going forward, is being very intentional about our language
Hmm.
in what we use. So when you're partnering with an expert such as GIP or even with a tax preparer or a marketing agent or a lawyer or something like that for your business, that's more so an investment, not
Absolutely.
just you spending money. Because truth be told, it really affects, your mindset and how you treat that partnership, and whether or not, if you think it's an expense, then you're really not going to really, delve in and take in the benefit of having a partner versus thinking about it as an actual investment. So I'm very intentional about letting entrepreneurs know now, like, if you're the CEO of your business, you are the most important asset of that business, because without
Absolutely.
you, there is no business. So you have to take care of your assets in your business, which includes yourself. And if you're the most important asset, you got to take care of you. And one of the ways that you do that is partnering with individuals, especially in the areas where you feel like you might not be the strongest in, right?
Hmm.
Because
Absolutely.
you have to have experts, especially when it comes to money. We get it. We know that the topic can be, it can cause anxiety. It can be a little anxious. Folks like, oh, son, don't give me no whooping about my numbers and blah blah blah. That's not what we do here. We're here to help you. So, Tisha, was you partnering with GIP, was it worth the investment as the CEO of TreSure Events?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just as you stated, working with experts, it definitely helps to alleviate some of the stress because, again, entrepreneurs, as the statistics state, Black women, we go into businesses where we're the sole everything when we start off. So we definitely need that support from experts in a lot of different areas, so that the stress levels are not as high. And like you said, we're able to take care of ourselves because we're the number one asset of our business.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Tisha, as we're about to wrap up, well, so my last question. So, what advice would you give entrepreneurs who are skeptical about hiring help to manage their business finances?
I think we've said it, and I'll say it again. Investing in yourself. Oftentimes, when we start out as solopreneurs. We're doing everything on our own, from the business structure to the finances to the marketing and the sales, and it can be overwhelming. So, in those instances where you can afford to invest in help, whether it be from the financial standpoint or the social media marketing standpoint, or any other thing, as you stated, where you're not as strong and you need that additional support. Do it. Don't look at it as an expense. Like I said, I started this business and continuing to hold it together just from money from savings, because it was something that I had the passion and desire of wanting to do. And it was a little scary at first because, I come from a corporate background where I was getting a paycheck every other week, and now going into entrepreneurship, I don't know, when I'll see, a payment, when a client is going to book me for an event. So thinking about not knowing that, but then wanting to spend money out on, financial help or social media help or marketing help or whatever the case may be, it's scary. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process and know that in the end, it's going to be favorable, and it's going to be worth it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to add as a note as well, because even me being a CEO, like social media, I'll use myself as an example, and that's why I have somebody helping me. Right
Absolutely.
now, right. Don't be afraid to ask questions. It's very much like finding the right physician or the right therapist. Right.
Mhm.
You're going as business owners, we're used to taking risks, right? And
Absolutely.
also, the benefit of the return on investment. You might have to, run across a couple of knuckleheads,
Hmm.
right, to get to the one that's going to help you get to the place where you need to be for your business. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid
Absolutely.
of that, and definitely ask questions. So, Tesha, you have my entire heart. I really appreciate you. Thank you for taking the chance on GIP Financials, and I'm glad that we were able to help
Absolutely.
TreSure. I'm gonna be saying that TreSure event.
Treasure without the A.
TreSure. I just like thank you so
Absolutely. Thank
much
you.
for
Thank
allowing
you.
us to help you get your business in position. And y'all spread the word about, GIP financials. If you are looking for a bookkeeper to help you get your numbers from point A to point B, if you're like, hey, I don't even know if I have the right entity for my business, we're here to help you as well. We have a free ebook called the Business Finance Blueprint that will walk you through your entity, your cash flow system, money in, how you bring money in, how you bring money out, how to organize your financials for the entire month, right? And also, we walk you through the 3 financial reports that you're going to need for your business: the profit and loss, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. It's free. And all you have to do is click on the link in the description and you can download that book so you can be just like Tesha and get your
Yes.
numbers in position. So thank y'all so much, Tesha. Again, I appreciate you. Thank you so much
Absolutely. Thank
for
you.
sharing
Thank
your
you.
testimony with the people. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.